evening. Welcome. I am Kamau Kujichagulia, and I welcome you to On the Case with Kamau Kujichagulia, where each week we speak with someone of tremendous interest here in the city of Trenton, or they may be from other parts of New Jersey or from around the world. But they are definitely people who you need to meet, you need to understand, and you need to converse with. So that's why we bring them on. This week we're going to have a young brother right here in Trenton, brother Shaheed Morris, and but before he comes on, I want to bring in Michael Harmon. Michael,
what's up,
how are
Pop?
you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm marvelous as usual.
It's good to
Okay.
see you.
It's good to see you too. I got my background back up. We were here earlier today working on the studio, and hopefully it'll stay up a little bit better than it has been for the past couple of weeks. What's on your mind, man?
Not much. Not much. I'm trying to get back to work, but
I don't know. I
besides
don't know
that,
many people say that.
I mean, I am on an extended vacation, but
People
it's
give me
kind of
time off with pay. I usually take good time off with pay. Hi, Dana K. How are you? I remember during COVID
so.
when the schools were let out and for almost a year, and they had me there with pay. I didn't get used to this. I almost retired then too. I said, you feel like going back to work, but
I just wish I had something to do. I want to go camping. I'm thinking about just going camping.
yeah,
Just
well,
getting a tent and going somewhere. It's kind of cold though.
you can't find nothing better to do than going camping. You might as well go. You should go back to work. Shit, you camping.
I'd appreciate that.
Sorry, son. But anyway, we have a good show lined up for people. What happened this week? Anything of importance? I guess. Oh, Biden. He said that he's going to run again for president. So if Biden runs and if Trump runs, we got two 80-year-old dudes running for president, right?
Right.
Hello. I'm 75, and half the time I don't know who I am. Okay? Shit. So I know being in their 80s, they got a lot of space in there where they're wondering, huh? Shit. You know what I mean? So anyway.
They're going to have the power to push the button.
How come, what's her name? Kamala. How come she always laughing?
I can't stand that woman.
Can't say I can't stand her, but she's always like, no matter what the question is, she always laughs. And I'm saying, well, what's so damn funny? I don't know what's funny. I don't know. Maybe I should just shut up, right? Well, obviously, if I was supposed to shut up, I wouldn't be on here right now, right? Let's bring on the brother Morris. Shaheed Morris, welcome to On the Case with Kamau Kujichagulia.
How you doing, Shaheed?
I'm well. I just want to thank you for the opportunity to come on your podcast. In your open, you said of tremendous interest. I'm not sure about that, but I'm honored to be a guest.
Let me tell you something. What piqued me, see, I see you on Facebook a lot, but what really piqued me about you was last week, I guess it was, you put on information about the zoning board. And that was the first time that I know of that anyone has ever shared any information about the zoning board or the planning board or the police board or any other board, in the city of Trenton that I know of. And understand my perspective when I say that. Mm-hmm. I've been publisher of a newspaper for 33 years. So when I say that, I'm talking not just as an individual, but as a reporter, a news person. And I've never heard any of this information. No one reached out to give this information. So that's what piqued me about you. And to me, that is more important than anything else, brother. So you are a most important person.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, that was so. Um, I've been on the zoning board the last 2 years as an alternate member. And when Jen Williams was elected to city council, she had to obviously relinquish her seat. And I was appointed as a full member. So, as an alternate member, I could only vote when a regular member was not present. Now I get the option to vote every month when I'm present for the meeting.
Okay. But before we get into the zoning board, tell our audience a little bit about who you are and where you come from and what makes Shaheed Muhammad Morris tick.
Shaheed Morris.
Yes, yes, yes. So I turned 35 on April 12th. So I'm born and raised in Trenton, raised by my grandmother. My grandmother raised me, and I graduated from the Trenton Public Schools. I went to college in the Midwest. I went nearly 1,500 miles all the way to South Dakota State. I didn't know anyone. And I went out to journalism school. That's where I graduated from. I graduated there with a journalism degree. And then my first job after graduating from college was for a small television station in Virginia. I did that. And then after that, I came back home to government, where I've been ever since.
How did you get to that TV station in Virginia from South Dakota?
Well, I mean, you're a journalist, so your first job, you gotta be journalists. You gotta be willing to travel, travel all around the country numerous times. Don Lemon, he had 12 stops. I read his book, Transparent, by the way. He moved around the country 12 times before he got the call from CNN. And so, yeah, what happened for me, what I learned about myself, I could freelance, I could tell a story, but at the end of the day, it wasn't a passion of mine. You have to have that passion of telling stories. It was not a passion of mine. I felt I was writing mundane stories, the same routine stuff over and over again. I was not enjoying that. So I was able to come back home, and I do not regret leaving journalism, because once a journalist, always a journalist. So I don't regret it. But I was able to come back home, spend the last 4 years of my grandmother's life with her. And, had I stayed in media, that would not have been the case, because I'd have been moving around the country every 2-3 years, every contract cycle.
And you lost your grandmother recently, right?
Recently, yeah. She passed away in 2021.
Okay. I lost my mom in 2021. So.
Sorry to hear that.
But you did some work for older people, didn't you? In Generations United?
I do a lot of advocacy work in Washington D.C. for Generations United, for children and older adults who are raising kids. I spoke at their release ceremony several years ago in Washington. I do a lot of volunteer work with them when I'm able. So that's another passion of mine. I would not be where I am today had it not been for my grandmother. So I'm very passionate about giving back and helping young folks who look like me and come from similar backgrounds. I'm the first in my family. It's 2023. I'm the only one with a college degree. And there are still many kids in this country that don't have access to higher education. I graduated from the community college. Then I went, I have a degree in funeral service.
Hold up, slow down there. Funeral service?
Yes, I have an associate's degree. Yeah, I'm also, I have
an
that.
Undertaker-like thing?
Yes. I'm not licensed yet. I still have to pass one more portion of the national board exam. So
So
But yeah,
you're still working on that?
yeah, I'm working a full-time demanding job in government and trying to manage time to study for a very rigorous exam.
Wow. So eventually you're going to be working as as an undertaker?
I wouldn't say that. That's just something I want. I envision myself in government and politics and eventually running for public office.
Okay, I see the connection there then.
Yes.
I do see the connection because you got undertaking, take care of dead people, and then you got politicians and things like that. So okay, I got that.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, that's a good thing. But right now you're with the Board of Public Service,
Uh,
Public Utilities.
yes, Board of Public Utilities, the
That's
state
in
board.
Newark, right?
They were in Newark 20 years ago, but now they're located in Trenton.
Are they really?
Yes. Yes,
Well,
that's
that's
where they're
something.
located.
I didn't keep up on that one, did I?
Yeah.
And so what do you do there?
I'm a communication manager there. Um, and what I love about the job, I'm learning something new every day. Tomorrow I'm in a meeting on offshore wind. Every day you're learning. I'm working with scientists and people who are much more smarter than I'll ever be. So one thing I enjoy about the job is every day I'm learning so many new things.
Okay, okay, that's a good thing.
And now you're with the Trenton Zoning Board of Adjustments.
Yes, yes. We, we
What do you guys do?
So the zoning board looks at variances and proposals from developers who want to come and rebuild here. As you mentioned, like a lot of folks, I think in when we were at the beginning of the show, we were talking about how so many people don't know that there's a zoning board, planning board. They know of the city council, but before these things get to city council, they got to get approved by the zoning board. So, last week, that was my first meeting as a full member on the zoning board. And that meeting was very long. It started at 7 and it went past 11 p.m. We had 3 hours of testimony on the charter school. So they shot down the variance on the Paul Robeson Charter School. Now, I actually support it. Now, I am a graduate of the Trenton Public Schools. I worked at the State Department of Education. I support public schools, but looking at the structural of the school, that's our personal biases should not interfere with how we vote on a zoning board. So that would probably end in an appeal. But I would have supported the charter school.
So were some personal biases
Well,
affecting the vote?
that I don't know. Only thing I can go by was what other members said publicly. I just felt, they kept saying that they didn't feel it benefited Trenton.
It been a school. Were
Yeah.
they building a new school?
Yes.
A brand new school, a
Yes.
physical plant, and they were going to hire new people to come work in that plant?
I don't know the details to that degree.
Mm-hmm.
As on the zoning board, we're just looking at the architectural design, the structure, and things of that nature.
Where would this have been?
This would have been on Princeton Avenue, but it's right there on the border.
So is there already a Paul Robeson Charter School in Trenton?
I'm
There is.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And basically all they were asking for is a new building.
New building. Well, when I looked at the architectural design, that looks like a state-of-the-art building, brand new. Whether it's new or they're renovating it, they wanted to really update it and things of that nature.
Not sure how that wouldn't be a plus for the city.
Yeah.
You say you're not either, huh?
I'm not either. But we in that same meeting, we did we did support unanimously a massage parlor being approved on Mott Street. So I mean, the zoning board, these are public meetings. It's the last Wednesday of every month. Encourage people to tune in, to listen. Any major development, it has to go through zoning board for approval. So when you want to know what's going to happen at that empty lot, or you drive around Trenton and you say, "Oh, I noticed they're building something." The zoning board is where you can help educate yourself on what they're doing.
Okay.
So again, where would this building have been?
Right on. I don't know off the top of my head the exact location because
Uh-huh.
I don't have the docket in front of me, but it would have
Okay.
been on Brunswick Avenue. Oh, sorry, Princeton Avenue. Princeton Ave, right there on the border.
Huh. Interesting. Very interesting. So okay. And the other members didn't think that this was something that would have benefited Trenton.
Well, I mean, I can only go by what they said in public
Well, of
on
course.
public record.
All right.
Again, and that's all I recall them saying.
Okay. Interesting.
So yeah,
Okay. Well,
so they shot down the variance, so we never actually got to vote on the architect structure of the building. They just shot down the variance, and I don't know if they really had grounds to do that because what violations they were in. That's so most likely, if I had to take a guess, eventually an appeal will happen. This will come again back before the zoning board.
okay. What other improvements is the Trenton Zoning Board of Adjustments have for the future?
That's a good question. I mean, we as members, we get the docket of a few weeks before each meeting. So as you know, my hope is that now that we finally got a functional city council, we finally got a council that's functional, that would attract homeowners, would attract developers. Trenton Health Team recently did their report. Nearly 70% of Trenton residents are renters. I bought a home, my first home in Trenton, on my section of the block, on the side of the block that I live on. I'm the only homeowner. Everyone else are renters. If we're going to ever transform Trenton, we have to attract millennials. We have to attract folks who want to buy homes here. I mean, the city has a deficit. Uh, has a deficit. We have so many slum landlords, and I live in a very rough part of Trenton, near the train station. But I believe if we can get some quality folks to move into that neighborhood, 5 minutes from the Trenton train station, one of the major travel hubs on this on this part of the country, we could really transform uh, this part of the city. But as long as the homeowners are fleeing out of here, that's not going to happen. So I'm hoping that this new council, that homeowners will say, you know what, I'll take a chance on Trenton.
Does the zoning board of adjustments actually help people that are trying to buy a house? Because I would like to buy a house.
Well, no, that's not the role of the zoning board.
Okay.
The zoning board is to look for like commercial and things like that. If you want to buy a house, there's many first-time home buyers programs through New Jersey Mortgage and Finance state program for people who have not owned a home within the last 7 years. I would point you into that direction. And then once you purchase a house, the city may have some resources for grants and things for like repairs and things of that nature. But the zoning board has very little to do with trying to encourage people to buy homes.
Okay.
Another piece of information that you gave out last week was that the median family income of Trenton was like $33,000.
Yeah, it's like that. That was when I read the last census report. It's yeah, medium income is in the mid 30s, and that has improved, believe it or not.
Okay, and at that the surrounding areas are like is it in the $80,000 range?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I I can't remember off the top of my head, but I remember reading a census, and it was like mouth dropping when I saw the number of Trenton residents that had a like college degree. I mean, it was very low.
Yeah. You know, when you shared that information, and we had just had a comment talking about an ice skating rink. I remember we had one many years. Y'all don't remember this, but I remember we had an ice skating rink many years ago. I don't know what we can do for an ice skating rink now.
Capital
Well,
Skating Rink on Layla
I mean,
Street.
Yeah. Well, that wasn't ice skating.
Oh,
well, I mean, for
You don't remember no roller skating rink on Layla Street. Shut
yes,
up.
I do.
Yeah, right.
so
Okay.
what I was saying is that for a skating rink, I mean, you have to get a developer who really believes in a skating rink or regular rink that that's needed here. I mean, that's to go. You have to attract developers and stuff like that who believe that um, could succeed here. I mean, it's uh,
How do you
Prince-
do that when you have medium income of $33,000? People families, we're talking about family income. That families that make $33,000 have very little income for extracurricular activities like that. You know, I mean, if I were a developer, I'm going to say, well, I'm going to put mine where the people can afford. I know people can afford to come over and over and over again, as opposed to someplace where they may not be able to afford at all.
you're right.
You know, that's why it bothers me that they shot down this new building, which would have created jobs for residents of the city of Trenton. It in the construction of it, may have created jobs in the the employees of this school, and it would have cleaned up an area that affected many people in Trenton.
Needs cleaning.
I don't understand that, especially since Paul Robeson is already here.
Yeah.
You know, I don't get that. Yeah, I think we need to do as much. What do you think can be done about addressing this $33,000 medium income? And that has to be addressed.
Well, I can only share what worked for me. I turned 35 a few weeks ago, and so just to be transparent, my entire 20s I worked in media. Journalism does not pay. It really doesn't pay. And so to people have to uh, go to school, pick up a trade. I get it. Everyone is not meant for college. I get it. But there's many lucrative jobs out there that do not require a college degree. Just last week, Governor Murphy, he has removed a degree requirement for several state jobs. So you have things like that. You have, uh, you got the Dream Program. If you are a New Jersey resident and you don't have a previous college degree and you make less than 35,000, you can go to any community college for free. So I mean, you got to take advantage of these opportunities because that's the only way to really elevate your income is through some type of trade or going back to school statistically. Then you can go to law enforcement route. You got the cops making 140, 130,000 in overtime, which does not require a college degree.
Okay.
Okay. It says that you're a member of the 3A Foundation. What is the 3A Foundation?
The 3A Foundation was founded by my good buddy Ron Cifalone. Is for inner city kids to give them scholarship opportunities for sports and things like that. So I'm a board member there.
Okay. What does the 3A Foundation do?
It's a nonprofit that gives scholarships throughout the year for students from Mercer County.
Okay.
Okay. We just had a comment from Kaja Manuel. He ran for city council, right? Let me see if I can find that. He said, this is a tad bit disappointing. You're implying that the reason Trenton's median income is low is due to Trentonians being unqualified. That's not the case.
Well,
Can you
okay,
comment on that?
okay, yeah, I'll comment on it. I never said Trentonians were not qualified. I said that, statistics show as people educate and advance, their incomes go up. That there's plenty of stats that prove that. I'm not saying, so I'm not going to get into that debate about that.
Okay. Well, and again, we get back to the Paul Robeson building, okay? Because education doesn't start at, getting a trade or going to college. It starts in kindergarten. And if there's a school out there that wants people out there who wants to build a brand new school to help our kids get an education early in life so that they can build on top of it. I don't understand why that's not being
So yeah, I read his comment. So I just want to say the number one employer in Trenton is the state of New Jersey. So with St. Francis closing, with Mercer Hospital closing, there are limited job opportunities in the city to begin with. The main employer, state of New Jersey, then followed behind that would be the Trenton Public Schools. That's why I was against, when I graduated from Trenton High, they privatized school security and they also privatized the dietary department. And those were plenty of folks who actually lived in the city.
Not only did they do those two, but they privatized paras, they privatized bus drivers. I mean, they took a lot of money out of the city. And I don't understand why they do that, But when St. Francis closed, did that come to the zoning board?
I was an alternate member at that time. But they didn't really close. They just sold, and they have a satellite hospital there. So it wasn't like Mercer would actually close down. There's a satellite there at St. Francis.
When Mercer closed, they had a satellite hospital there too. That's what they said. They were going to keep their emergency department there. They were going to keep clinics there, and in a couple of years they closed down. You can believe that a couple of years that stuff at St. Francis is going to close down.
I don't want to say that the St. Francis, the Capital Health, they rebranded it to Capital Health. I'm hoping that it stays because we really need that hospital there.
We really needed Mercer.
Yes.
So I'm not happy. I'm not happy with that situation. I'm not happy with Mercer, and I'm not happy with St. Francis. If they really wanted to come in and purchase the the hospital, they should have purchased the hospital and kept it and improved the hospital, not just say that they're going to keep an emergency department because it's rough having an emergency department. All right, once you're out of the department and you need care, what they do with you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What they do with you? They got to ship you out somewhere. Grifting is the number one way to keep a community down. Allocate jobs and opportunities outside of the community. Okay. I don't know if it's the number one way to keep it down, but it's a way to keep it down.
Well, we have the hotel. The hotel is boarded down. I mean, that offered plenty of jobs for Trenton residents. I've heard that there's a potential buyer for the hotel. That's been I don't know if that's confirmed yet, but I mean, I do believe a hotel can succeed in Trenton as long as we have the right management.
comment said that there's no kids being born in Trenton anymore, and that's true. That's very, very true. Now there's hotel.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I forgot. I lost my train of thought there. See, 75, and I'm talking to you, and I lose my train of thought. And these two suckers is 80.
I remember when the hotel first came here. I was a teenager.
Excitement.
It was the excitement, and the mayor at that time was Doug Palmer. He did this huge campaign. The capital cities, Trenton is the only capital city that does not have a hotel. That was the campaign. And I remember being a teenager in the late. He's now deceased. Nate Jones. He was a perennial council candidate. He constantly kept running for council. Never got elected. He was the principal at my old elementary school, Rivera, and he was like one of the few folks to come at the council meeting. He always spoke about the financial dealing of the Marriott. He didn't like the bonding of it. He just thought it was going to be a nightmare. And I remember him speaking out against. I mean, he was not in the number because everyone was in support of this hotel. And when I look back, he was right.
Yeah, I was thinking about my brother early, probably. It's either today or yesterday. I was thinking that Nate. I was coming around the curve.
Yeah,
coming home thinking about Nate. Nate was a good man. He was a good man, But I think the management was horrible, like you said. With good management, that hotel could work. They do like so many other people do. They didn't want black people there other than to clean and cook, because we funded the city. The people of Trenton funded the hotel. Okay, it was our hotel, and they never invited us to come be a part of the hotel once it was born. But to me, didn't make, because it was empty. It was, they had people during the week, then it was empty on the weekend. Why not to give the owners a special discount to come stay at the hotel? I would have gladly done that. Would have happily done that, But they never gave us an invitation. It's back to my.
But when you have strong leadership,
we do.
No, at the time. When you have strong leadership. Okay. That administration was able to attract Jeff Ziegler to bring the Marriott to Trenton. When you have strong leadership, you can attract hospitals, hotels, developers. You can attract people of note and with big jobs to buy homes in this city. That's what good leadership does.
Yeah.
What's that say about our leadership today?
Well, I mean, again, I'm hoping with the new council that we can move beyond what we saw the last 4 years. As someone who's been going to city council since he was a teenager, I had the chance, Paul Michael Pentella, he was the council president. People would step up to the podium, talk about him like a dog. You would never see Pentella lose his cool. You would never see him get into an argument. That's what we have to get back to.
Okay.
And again, I'm not calling any names or anything like that. But I'm hoping that our new council can move the city forward.
Now, what's coming before the zoning board that may help the city of Trenton? What's the one that?
I don't know. I mean, we get that a few weeks in advance for the next meeting. So our next meeting is not until the last week of May. So
y'all don't get an opportunity to study this stuff?
Yeah, they send it within a few weeks of each month, where we get to review the docket and things like that.
I'm quite sure some things are very complicated and may need a couple months to study.
Well, yeah, you're right.
And that's not how it works.
Well, no, I mean, we're just looking at the architectural designs and things like that, and then when we meet once a month, we can ask questions to the architects, the attorneys, and the potential business owners.
So what did you mean then when you said that the variance didn't pass?
When
So
when
they
I,
didn't see the designs.
no, we saw this at that meeting. There was 3 hours of testimony. We actually saw the full proposal in terms of the PowerPoint and things of that nature.
But you said the variance didn't pass.
Yeah, they did not approve the variance, so you got to
Okay, now when you say they, is that the zoning board?
the
Didn't
zone. Yeah, the zoning board. You got to approve the variance, and then after the variance, you get to vote on the structural of the.
And what is a variance?
A variance is the compliant things that they're talking about.
It's the what?
So like the variance
Uh-huh.
of the building and so there's two types of votes. You have the variance, and then you have the where you vote on the actual
Design.
proposal, the building, the structure.
Right.
So we didn't get the chance to actually vote on that. We didn't get the chance to vote on that because they did not approve the variance.
Okay, but the zoning board is the one that approves or disapproves the variance?
Yes, the zoning board.
And why was the variance not approved?
Again, that's something I don't know why it wasn't approved. I mean, they did the roll call, and it didn't I supported it, but I was not in the
So
consent.
people don't have to justify their vote?
They do not. They can just say yay or nay. So yeah, they can say yay or nay. Now me, if whenever I vote, I go on record of why I'm voting that way, but they don't have to do that. So it's hard for me to try to explain why they voted in such a way.
Now, if I came on there, can I ask them? Am I allowed to interact with this board?
Are they open to the public?
Yeah, these are public meetings. These are
But
public
can you
meetings.
interact?
Yeah, these are public meetings. These are so before the pandemic, these were all in-person meetings. Since the pandemic, these have been turned into virtual meetings. So when I sign on the computer, I see a lot of names on there, but we really need more public input from the public. So like for many years in Trenton, I don't know if there was like each ward had neighborhood associations. I mean, outside of Mill Hill, Hilltonia, and Glen Afton, they're like the three strongest neighborhood associations. When growing up in Trenton, there was numerous neighborhood associations.
Okay.
Many of them have dissolved.
I guess that goes back to home ownership.
Home ownership. And one of the things that attracted me to Trenton is that, living around the country, Trenton has its issues like many urban cities, but the cheap cost of living. That's what attracted me to come here. I did not have to buy a home in Trenton. I could have went anywhere, but I decided, as a state employee, you have, thanks to Chris Christie, if you work for the state, you have to live in New Jersey unless you're grandfathered in. But I believe in Trenton, and I'm hoping that we can turn the city around collectively and just continue to move forward. I mean, that's all we can do is hope at this point, and try to support this council, try to support the administration in every way we can do that.
Now, if this administration and this, no, let me change that. Is this administration and this council working on ways to raise the economic levels of our citizens? Do they have programs on the table to raise?
I don't want to speak for them. I mean, that's a question for them.
So that doesn't come before you.
I'm just saying that that's I don't know what they're working on. I'm not privy to what the
Okay.
mayor's doing, our city councils. It's April. We had runoff elections in January, so I don't know what they're going to do, but we could become active. We could attend city council meetings, go on a record about things we need to improve in the city, and things like that.
Oh, that reminded me. You didn't answer my question. Are these meetings interactive?
Which meeting? City council or zoning?
No, zoning.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're interactive.
So when somebody makes a vote, I can ask them, why did you vote like that?
No, well, no, you talking about from the public or from the public or me? No, I can't ask that. Why they voted that?
No, I'm talking about me. If I came on there, I can ask
The public.
I can ask the members why they voted the way they voted.
I mean, you can ask whatever you like. I mean, that's up to them to answer. But I'm just saying that it's interactive.
Well, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, well, yes, these are not.
I know I can ask it, but are they receptive to answering them, or are they up on their high horse on their high throne saying, "I don't have to answer that"?
Again, I don't.
I mean, that's the way most meetings, committees are. You ask them a question, and I don't have to answer that.
Well, yeah, and then there's people who believe their vote speaks for themselves. That when they vote, there are people who believe in that philosophy. That when they vote, they don't have to answer; it speaks for itself.
Okay. Okay. Well,
and when is the next zoning board meeting?
Zoning board meeting is the last Wednesday of every month.
So that was what's yesterday? Was the 24th?
Today's the 27th.
You just had it.
Yeah, we just had it.
That's why I
week.
got that.
Yeah, we had it last week.
Okay. So next one is in May sometime.
Yeah, May.
Okay. And how does one get to this Zoom meeting?
It's emailed out. There's a public notice of the meeting and things like that.
You have to have your email. You have to send in your email, and then they'll send it to you.
Yeah, you could, just like council. You can reach out to the clerk's office and let them know, just like the city council meetings.
Okay.
And so people. I saw one of the comments about the crime in the city.
Mm-hmm.
We recently had a murder not far from where I live. And it's sad to see the violence and all of the issues that are occurring in the police department.
Yeah, I mean, these issues have been going on for, I don't know, 50 years.
Well, it's sometimes we have to go back and look at history. I mean, history is the greatest lesson or the greatest teacher. And there was a big movement about, when the Palmer administration got control over the police department by removing the commissioner and now going to the police director role, compared to when you had the police commissioner, he or she rose through the ranks and went on to become the head of the police department. And I often wonder, when you look back, because many of the issues that are affecting the police department today, they've been there, as you said, for the last 40, 50 years. So did the city really gain control by the mayor have the ability to appoint a civilian police director?
It's definitely a good question.
What's your answer?
Again, I would have to look into it more deeply, but I've been looking at that, and I often wonder, because there's something to say when you have a young guy who joins the force at 20 in his early 20s, and he say, you know what, I can pay my dues and climb and become police commissioner. compared to seeing all these civilian appointed police directors. And the lawsuits in the police department is just piling up. It is sad to see what's going on in the city from the crime, from the police department. But I'm not giving up on Trenton. I'm being optimistic that the better days for our city are ahead, whether it's with this administration or the next.
Well, brother, you know what? I'm with you. I stay here in the city of Trenton, and my family been here. My kids, some of them have been or have moved back to Trenton or have moved to Trenton. So, we got to do the best we can with what we got, right?
Hey, I had a mortgage a few months ago. It ran out, but I couldn't find anything within the little mortgage I had, though. So that was my problem.
I didn't hear. Oh, you said you had a mortgage?
I had a mortgage. I got a mortgage. It wasn't for a whole lot of money, but I couldn't find anything within the city.
Well, I mean, you have look for short sales, look for private sales. If a family wants in a private sale, if they want to sell it, and also look for homes in foreclosures. I mean, that's what I and keep working on your credit score. Keep trying to save more money, because the better credit score, the higher the mortgage you can get approved for.
I was actually surprised at my credit score, man. My credit score is actually pretty good right now.
That's good.
It's
Awesome.
good right now.
Someone just wrote a comment.
When will the Pathway to Home Ownership grant programs resume? Others, as well as myself, have been waiting over a year to choose, yet I see no shortage of the Jewish or Spanish community doing demo and purchasing homes from the city. Why are our home city residents on hold, but no one else is?
Well, that's a good question. That's something that I guess we need to bring somebody on that has knowledge of that, so that we can ask them. We keep trying to get the mayor and council members to come on, but so far we haven't succeeded in doing that.
Now, I guarantee you, had you tried during election season, they all would have been on here.
No, they wasn't.
Oh, they didn't. You tried?
No, they wasn't.
Really?
People that are trying to get elected, they came on.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The folks trying to get elected with a couple.
Nah, that's not true. The mayor did not come on. He did not answer any of our requests. None.
Kind of brushed me off a couple times.
None.
What about city council?
There were some city council people who came on, but
who had never been city council before.
Didn't. What?
Who had never been city council before came on, and then
there were some that were city council.
Yeah, there were too.
Well, as you know, to run for office, you don't have to hold a public office. You just have to be a city resident. You know, but I guess they have their own reasons for picking and choosing what outlets they want to go on.
They don't want to be on. They don't want me to be on the case with them. Shit. Because but anyway, that's something else. We thank you. We thank you very much for being with us.
I appreciate the time. I tried to answer some of the questions that you ask. Some of the things are more for the mayor and their administration in terms of what they're doing to address these series of issues.
And we're going to continue to reach out to those people.
And what I would say,
a lot of other people.
What I would say is continue trying to get the mayor on the show. Continue trying to get elected officials on the show. Don't just because they don't do it at that time. Continue.
Oh yeah, we do. We do. We have an email list, so we send out email lists at same people all the time. So they get it often.
Okay.
They get it often. So hopefully we will see. But anyway, we thank you for being here, and you've enlightened us quite a bit, and we appreciate.
Thank you. again,
what you had to say and what you shared with us, my good brother.
yeah, thank you for giving me the opportunity to appear on your show. It was an honor and a privilege to share my story and to share my journey back to Trenton. And I'm just so excited about the future of the city because I know that there's brighter days for this city. I know that there's going to be, I just can't wait for the city's renaissance. And it may not be happening now, but I know it's going to happen. Trenton can only get better.
That's right.
That's right.
I agree with you. But I've been agreeing with that philosophy for about 50 years now. So, you know, but one day it'll happen.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, Shaheed, we thank you, man. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
And telling us your story, brother.
All right. Thank you. Y'all have a great evening.
All right, brother.
You too.
Take care. Well, that was most enlightening. Most enlightening. You know, I enjoyed that conversation with that good brother. Young people, man, that's what we need. We need young people because young people coming from a different way, from a position of boom, let's do it. You know,
Right.
These damn 80-year-olds, we get that hell out of here. You know, and I don't even want to vote for no damn 80-year-old. You know, I like having young people because they got new ideas. Obviously, what we knew and what we did didn't work.
Right.
So, you know, we got to try something new. Got to try something new. You know, people like you got to get up off your ass, you know, and do some work.
I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to argue with you, Pop.
Sorry about that, son. All right, who we got next week?
Next week, we have the Reverend Bolivar Flores.
Who?
He is the chief of staff for the New Jersey Reentry Corporation.
Bolivar
Flores.
Bolivar Flores. And
Reverend Flores.
He's the chief of staff of New Jersey. Oh, reentry. You mean reentry from prison?
I believe so.
Man, that should be a good one. Oh man, that should be a hot topic. I love that. Well, okay. I can't wait till next week, man. I can't wait. Give me the information now so I can start finding out about this brother. This is great.
You.
All of the guests and all of the comments. Thank you.
Michael Colvin.
We couldn't answer to everyone. We couldn't get all, but we tried to put them all on. But you know, we love you. We love your participation, and we love your wanting to see the city of Trenton grow, expand, and prosper. We love that. So please stay with us, and we're going to try our very best to get this together. I almost cussed.
We'll see you guys next week. Temple Harmon, Dana Harmon, Michael Colvin, Kaj Emanuel. We love you guys.
William Saunders, he can't start naming them. Lizzie. Oh, Liz was on
Lizzie
there.
Davis.
Start naming them, then you gotta name everybody. Yeah. You know? Okay. All right, Sean, get us out of here, would you please? Thank you very much. Love you all.
See y'all later. Next week, Thursday, 8 o'clock on the case with Kamau Kujichagulia.
Love you.